So far, we've discussed how props can be used in components to display data. Next, let's focus on another very important React topic, state. State represents the possible conditions of your application. Maybe you have a state for editing and a state for saved, or a state for logged in and logged out. In React apps, we want to identify the minimal representation of app state, and then we want to reduce state to as few components as possible. This way, we can avoid overriding state variables, which can cause chaos in our applications. In this app, we can reduce our state to one component, and it's a new one that we're going to create called app. So like I mentioned, we're going to create a component called app. So here in our components folder, we should create a new file called app.js. And app.js is going to be a create class component. So we will import create class from React. And then we're going to create this component. So export const app equals create class. Now we need a render method, of course, and the render method is at first going to just return a simple div. So more on that div in a little bit when we populate that with some data. But for now, let's just give it a class name equal to app. Now the next thing I want to do here is I'm going to add another method called getInitialState. GetInitialState in a create class component is how we initialize state as the default. So when our app renders for the first time, we will use this initial state. So here we're going to return an object, and the object's key here is going to be all ski days. Now all ski days is going to be an array, and this array should look familiar to you because we're actually going to steal it from our index.js file. So from before, days was our array of objects that described all of our different days. And now instead of holding these as props, we're going to hold them in state. So let me just get rid of the days here, and we're going to cut and paste our array into our app file. So all ski days should be equal to this array. The other thing I want to do is head back over to my index.js file, and I'm going to, instead of rendering ski day list, render app, and we'll import app from app. Excellent. So just to see that this is working, let's return to our div for a second here. So in the render method, we have this div, and we're going to use the following. We'll use this.state.allSkiDays. And we're going to look for the first of these, so we'll use 0. And then we want to see the value of the resort key. So this is going to find this field and just display it within that div. So this is just a check to make sure things are working. If we head over to our localhost 3000, we should see that it is. Great. We have displayed some data from state. In the next video, we're going to compose our components and pass this state data down from the parent to children.